By now, you've probably heard about Australia's social media ban for children under 16. But did you know that Meta actually ran a study on the negative effects of social media on teens and hid the evidence? It's not just social media that comes with a hidden price tag. Generative AI does as well. That's true for you when you use image generators and also for musicians when their music is fed into an AI. But artists like Paul McCartney are now taking a stand. And speaking of a hidden toll of technology, what would it mean to build data centers in space to power all that AI? That and more coming up now. When was the last time you felt drained after scrolling for too long? Yeah, same. Social media can take a serious toll on our mental health. That's why this news hit hard. Meta allegedly buried internal research showing Insta and Facebook can harm teens' mental health. What did the Meta files reveal? How harmful is social media for us? And could banning it for kids be the answer? Let's break it down. Did Meta bury evidence? Project Mercury was the name of a research project run by Meta. It tested what happens when users deactivate Facebook and Insta for a month. After just 1 week without the apps, participants reported less depression, less anxiety, less loneliness, and less comparing themselves to others. Meta never published these results. Instead, it cancelled the project, according to US court filings. Meta says the study was flawed, but schools and parents are suing. They claim Meta has known for a long time that its platforms harm children and young adults. And Meta's own research isn't the only evidence out there. Kids and social media. What does science say? The WHO looked at data from 44 countries. It found this. 11% of kids aged 11 to 15 show signs of problematic social media use, basically addiction-like symptoms. Those kids also reported lower mental and social well-being. The WHO warns that this trend could have long-term effects on development and mental health. An analysis of multiple studies links heavy social media use to lower self-esteem, more anxiety, and increased depressive symptoms. But here's the catch. Most research shows correlation, not causation. That's why Meta's hidden study matters. It allegedly found a direct effect. Lawmakers are taking notice. Australia is rolling out the world's first social media ban for children and teens under the age of 16. Could this be the solution? Social media companies in Australia must now take reasonable steps to keep under 16s off their apps. If they fail, they face hefty fines. Kids and parents won't be punished. Malaysia and New Zealand are planning similar bans. Enforcing bans won't be easy. Age checks using facial recognition or ID can be bypassed with VPNs, fake IDs, or even cheap disguises. Critics warn that a ban could isolate kids socially, especially minorities or those struggling with mental health. Even the WHO notes that social media can help kids connect with peers and express themselves. Plus, a ban could also limit access to news and slow digital skill development. And some fear it could push kids to even more unregulated corners of the internet. What's your experience? Does social media help you connect or leave you feeling worse? Let us know in the comments. Many think generating images and videos with AI apps like Sora 2 or Nano Banana is super fun and best of all, it's free. Well, not really. Let's dive in. If you're not paying for the product, then you are the product. Ever heard that phrase? It certainly applies to so-called free generative AI. When Sora launched in early 2024, it could exclusively be used by ChatGPT subscribers. Sora 2, now a standalone app, is free. And it's a hit. It got over 1 million downloads in just 5 days. It reached that milestone faster than ChatGPT. Does OpenAI prioritize getting more users over revenue? Each video you create helps Sora get smarter. Like the video, Sora remembers what worked. Didn't like it? Your feedback helps Sora learn even more. Millions are training AI for free. This is the case for almost all user AI applications. But image and video generators have a unique edge. In a way, they tap into our imagination. Let me explain. AI tapping into our dreams? The latest tools let you create images and videos of yourself. Google's Nano Banana lets you turn your selfies into retro portraits or fantasy scenes. Sora offers a cameo feature. You record yourself and then change the video however you like. Want to see yourself surfing? You can. But be aware. That info could be valuable to surf gear brands or travel agencies. And the platform you used might sell that data, so it can be used for targeted ads. Sounds far-fetched? Well, Meta said it will use AI chat conversations to personalize ads across Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, starting in December. OpenAI is not placing ads in ChatGPT. That might destroy users' trust, but in an app for AI videos, it's much more likely. Fact is, your data is gold to AI companies. You are very valuable to AI companies, and they don't want you to leave, ever. That's why so many companies are building similar tools. ChatGPT includes image generation. Google's Gemini's Nano Banana is booming. Meta has a full suite of AI creation tools, and Microsoft is building MAI Image One, its first in-house image generator. Just like social media, the more time you spend with these tools, the more they learn about you. And the more they know, the more developers can charge if they want to sell info about you. So what do we get out of it? AI companies use very flashy slogans to promote their services. And yes, these AI models are very impressive. They evolve fast. The stuff that makes it into our feeds is more like this though. Is this the kind of creativity we need to unlock? What do you think? Paul McCartney just dropped a new track, but it's not a Beatles-style sing-along. It's almost silent, just tape hiss and faint studio sounds. Why? It's part of a protest album called Is This What We Want?, created by over 1,000 artists. The message to tech companies: stop training AI on musicians' work without permission. So, why are artists pushing back against AI? And would it really matter to us if music was made by AI instead of humans? Musicians versus AI. First, AI music is everywhere and it's competing with human musicians, especially on streaming platforms. Here's the scale. Tens of thousands of AI tracks are uploaded to streaming platforms every day. On streaming platform Deezer, it's around 50,000. That's about 1/3 of the platform's daily total volume. And there are even AI stars. AI country singer Breaking Rust has just landed a #1 hit on Billboard with Walk My Walk. His two biggest hits alone reached 10 million streams on Spotify together so far. And it's not the first time AI-generated music is charting. The human producers behind AI R&B singer Zania Monet even scored a record deal for the project, after Monet had appeared on US charts twice. The AI-generated voices sound impressive, but that's exactly what Paul McCartney and other artists are protesting against. They say AI music platforms steal their creative work. Zania Monet doesn't just copy one particular singer. Her voice is built from patterns learned on thousands of real female voices, and it's tuned to sound appealing to most listeners. Here's how. AI music platforms like Suno or Odeo work like ChatGPT for music. You type a prompt and they generate entire songs. They use AI models trained on huge audio datasets, often scraped online without artists' consent. They also learn from user feedback to make tracks that fit popular tastes. But does it really make a difference to us as listeners? A recent study has shown that 97% of all participants can't tell AI music from human-made tracks. Nevertheless, 51% said they believe the use of AI in music production could lead to generic-sounding music. And they might be right. In many cases, AI-made tracks lack the emotional depth of human artistry. That's not saying that good producers with a vision and prompting skills can't generate AI music that's touching. But the sheer volume of AI songs can overwhelm platforms and bury quality music in generic content. Algorithms may favor formulaic AI tracks optimized for engagement and reduce diversity and creativity. Worst case scenario, AI music platforms force human artists to give up and get stuck in a feedback loop of more of the same. So, does music need the human touch? Some artists are hopeful that the human element in music will prevail. On her recent album Lux, Spanish pop star Rosalía sings in 13 languages. She could have easily used AI to make it sound authentic. Actor Adrien Brody did exactly that for enhancing his Hungarian accent in the movie The Brutalist, and even won an Oscar. Rosalía considered doing it but then decided against it. That's one of the reasons why many news outlets, the Rolling Stone magazine for example, have described Rosalía's new album as a counterpoint to the AI trend in an era of algorithmic music. Data centers could raise your energy bill. Yeah, Really, the boom in AI is driving a surge in data centers and with it, electricity and water use. That's why over 200 environmental groups want a pause on new builds in the US until stricter rules kick in. Meanwhile, tech giants are planning to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on AI infrastructure. Some are even looking beyond Earth. OpenAI's Sam Altman reportedly talked about sending computers into space with a rocket company. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Sundar Pichai, they've all explored the idea. But how would that work? Data centers in space? One big advantage: there's a lot of space. Literally. Data centers take up huge areas of land, so do power plants. Space also means constant solar energy. No clouds, no night, no seasons. Cooling is another factor. On Earth, cooling servers use massive amounts of water. In space, the cold environment does that naturally. And then there's emissions. Running on solar energy means the data centers would be producing close to zero emissions in space. Researchers in Singapore propose swarms of satellites in low Earth orbit acting like a cloud system. They would share computing, storage and traffic. Europe's Ascent project, UAE's Madari Space and China are already testing prototypes. So problem solved? Not quite. The downsides. While data centers in space may not produce carbon emissions on Earth, the rockets that get them there do. Europe's Ascent project says space data centers are only greener if rocket emissions drop tenfold, and it's not clear if or when that will be possible. Maintenance is another issue. Repairs in orbit are tough, and space weather, like solar flares, could disrupt operations. And then there's space debris. Millions of objects already orbit Earth. Experts warn that collisions could knock out critical systems like GPS, and so far there's no real solution to clean up that junk. Still, believers argue that leaving Earth might be necessary because environmental impacts are already visible. The pressure is real. Data center power demand will jump 165% by 2030 according to Goldman Sachs. In Chile, Google had to redesign a $200 million data center after backlash over plans to use over 7 million liters of water a day during a drought. So what do you think? Could space data centers be the future, or is this just another tech fantasy? Share your thoughts below. And that's all from me. Bye and see you next time.